Good morning. We're standing on a rainy day on the porch of the Mount Sinai Yacht Club looking out at Mount Sinai Harbor. For many years, this harbor and the entrance to this harbor has become more difficult to navigate. It's been shoaling over. The jetty that protected that harbor has degraded and needed to be replaced. And if there isn't sufficient flushing action in this harbor, it creates a problem. It also creates an erosion problem to the west at the Port Jefferson Village Beach. All of these have been concerns for us, but to replace that jetty is about a $10 million expenditure. In the town of Brookhaven, we alone could not do that. And this is my clue to turn us over to the man that is helping us do that, our State Senator Ken LaValle. Ken?
Thank you, Supervisor. You know, as a state senator, from day one, I've always had as my mantra that local control was very, very important. That means that I work with all of the townships, 6 townships in the 1st Senatorial District, 32 villages, and by having communication with the town of Brookhaven, the supervisor, and the council member, Jane Bonner, it becomes easy because they identify, as the supervisor said, a very, very important problem that existed at where the jetty is. The East Jetty is kind of collapsing. That presents problems for Village of Port Jefferson and their beach. But the most important thing are all those who navigate in and out of the Mount Sinai Harbor. That is the most important thing. It has become somewhat problematic over the years, and like a lot of things in government, it's all about money. It's all about money to get it done. For the town of Brookhaven, for Supervisor Romaine, Council Member Bonner, and the town board, this project has become critically important. Town has put money into it, and they have been looking for a partner. So that's where I come in. I come in as the junior partner in a deal because the town has put in quite a bit of money, $5 million.
5.6.
5.6 million.
But that number's climbing.
But that number is climbing. My number is not climbing, but
It's still early in the day, Senator.
so we started out during the session where I identified some money, $1 million. Well, Councilmember Bonner said, "Can't you do better than that?" Supervisor said, "Look, this is a big project. It's a project that we need to get done. People are in harm's way coming in and out." And so I went to a person who also represents the town of Brookhaven and is our majority leader. And I said to him, Senator John Flanagan, I need some help with Mount Sinai. It's the #1 priority for the supervisor, the town board, and Council Member Bonner. And he said, well, let me see what we can do. So my $1 million, with Senator Flanagan's help as the majority leader, became $3 million. So the state will be partnering with the town of Brookhaven with our 3 million, their 5.6, and I think we can get the job done. And as I said, most importantly, we're talking about lives here. People who use that, they're with their families, and they expect a safe entry and exit through the mouth of the Mount Sinai Harbor, where we have these jetties. And as a sidebar benefit, it will help the village of Port Jefferson stabilize their beach. So we have a number of win-win situations. But I want to tell you, for me, as Senator of the 1st District, it is nothing but pleasure working with Supervisor Romaine, and someone who I think is a partner who always is looking for her councilmatic district, but is always saying, Senator, I could use your help. And it starts out with $50,000 for this project and $50,000 for that project. This is big money.
This is the most you've ever given me.
$3 million. $3 million. So,
The bar's been set.
but I want to just end where I started. It's working with the localities to identify the problems, make it a priority, and that's how we started with 1 million and ended up with 3 million to get this project done. So Ed, I want to thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
Your town board, and of course, my other partner here. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to ask Councilwoman Bonner to say a few words. I just want to emphasize something. Not only is it important in terms of navigation, in terms of erosion control, to have this jetty mentioned, but also in terms of flushing of the harbor. For the first time this past winter, this harbor was closed to shell fishing for the first time with a better flush. And the other thing I want to mention is the County of Suffolk has agreed to dredge the mouth, do an interface dredging the mouth of the harbor once the jetty has been rebuilt and stabilized. And with that, our Councilwoman Jane Bonner.
Thank you, Supervisor Romaine. It's a good day to be in Brookhaven, isn't it? First and foremost, thank you to Senator Laval and Senator Flanagan. This senator tells an accurate story. I was not shy. I was not embarrassed to tell him that it wasn't good enough. We needed more money.
Jane, you're never shy.
He actually called me at home to let me know. He said, and his first words were, "So how's 3 million? Is that enough?" Yeah. And I said, "It'll have to do, Senator." So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And he really is the go-to senator for me. He's afforded me the ability as the local council person on for money for so many projects. This is the largest by far, but new sidewalks and streetlights in downtown Rocky Point, a memorial in downtown Rocky Point. Whatever I need, he's always my first go-to if we can't find the money in our town budget. And what's interesting to note about this jetty is that this project, for me, started in 2010, before Supervisor Romaine was elected. When I brought I invited the Army Corps of Engineers out, and Tom Carano, a member of our DEP staff, is here. It was a very, very involved process, took a lot of meetings, them out in a boat in the wintertime taking readings, and it just evolved from there. And I really feel so good that we're going to be able to get this done. It is truly a navigational hazard. It really is. There's a channel marker right in the middle of the channel to let people know, boaters know, how far the shoal comes out. And it comes out very, very far, practically in the middle of the channel. And the current that swirls at high tide, if you don't know what you're doing as a boater, it's pretty dangerous. So this is really important that we address the navigational hazard. But interesting to note, and I want this to be reported accurately, because maybe we'll get some help with this. We are the only municipality that is in charge of jetty. The Army Corps of Engineers maintains all other jetties on Long Island, but not this one. And it is a huge budget consideration for us. So much so that while we've always budgeted the $5.6 million, we just could never get to the rest of it.
10.
Pardon me?
The 10 that we have.
You know, so now, and I'm hoping that when this gets reported and shows on TV and is in all the newspapers and on Channel 18, that maybe Port Jefferson Village will step up to the plate with the difference that we need to make it the full $10 million. They will benefit greatly from these two jetties. They really, really will.
Can I point out one thing? We're also working on redoing the Patchogue jetty, and the deputy mayor of Patchogue is in the back there, Jack Giveaway. And we're working on that, and we got state help and town help, and the village is contributing to that as well. So it's a three-way project. So yeah, we're rebuilding our jetties. Jane, if you would be so kind as to introduce the people from the yacht club.
We have some members of this peninsula is it's not just a yacht club. We have working boat yards, we have recreational fishermen, we have fishermen and women that derive their income from this harbor. It's a working harbor. It's not just about people with recreational boats. So we're very fortunate and very blessed to have members of the Mount Sinai Yacht Club. We have Ralph Davenport from Ralph's Fishing Station.
Does she want to say anything?
We have, I'm just going to make some introductions, and then anybody, and then we have Patty Van Midlam, who is the president of the Mount Sinai Harbor Advisory Committee, and they're charged with not just dealing with and bringing boating issues to the town, but all the issues that happen down here on this peninsula, whether it be for boats, kayaks, restaurants, parking, our nature center across the way that we've done fantastic renovations to. This is truly a hub. It's a working harbor, and we're very fortunate and very blessed to be surrounded by so many people that will benefit from this project being done. And why don't I have who's the Commodore? Why don't you have a say? John Howell,
Thank you.
Commodore of the Mount Sinai Yacht Club. And then
Thank you. Thank you. On behalf of the Yacht Club, our members are certainly grateful for going ahead with this project. Pretty much, Ed Romaine pretty much said everything. I'll add one little thing pertaining to navigation. As many of you know, I do a tremendous amount of boating over a wide range area. And perhaps you've heard of Hellgate down in the East River. Yep. That has the reputation, but I've been through Hellgate many times under many conditions, and I can attest that our little entrance here is worse than Hellgate. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Ralph, why don't you, Ralph Davenport from Ralph's Fishing Station and Marina.
Well, thank you. I really don't have too much to say, but
Oh, yes, you
oh yeah.
Yes, you do.
Well, it's good, you know, because we watch these people come in and out of this harbor all the time, and a lot of people are getting stuck on the sandbar. Believe it or not, before the buoy went in, they put the buoy in the middle. Thank God, because every day there was another sailboat hung, and they'd have to wait through a whole tide. You know, if you get hung on an outgoing tide, you're done. You're stuck there, you know, and that's it. And then you have to sit it out. The boat will heel over till it's not even going to float up again. And then eventually they do float, but it's hours and hours later. And if you were a person that didn't know this harbor and were looking for a safe place to come in, odds are that you would crash on the way in. You would hit that sandbar if you know, because we used to have big boats that were able to come in and out of this harbor years ago with no problem at all. And now it's just it's definitely a hazard. It's not the easiest. It used to be the easiest harbor on the North Shore to navigate in, and now it's one of the worst, you know, just because of that. So hopefully next year's time they'll have that, at least dig the sandbar out of the way enough where the people can navigate safely again, and then maybe in a couple of years' time the jetties will be complete, you know, hopefully. So, but thank you very much.
Okay.
That's it. If there's any questions for myself, members of the Yacht Club, for Ralph's Fishing Station, the Senator,
Tom
Jane,
Carano or D-
or Tom Carano, who does a great job in charge of all waterways in the town of Brookhaven.
Oh, sorry about that.
No.
We also have the coastal steward here, too.
Ah.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Anybody in the coastal steward want to say anything? You want to come on over?
Come on up.
Come on up. I didn't. Yeah.
Okay, if there's any questions?